those are the fireworks that can mean only one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin has hit the auspicious number over 10,000 US dollars, well over 10,000 US dollars at this time of filming. It has skyrocketed there over a dramatic weekend, early February. We all know it's a good time of year, but this really takes the cake. 5 digits, seems like we're going to be here forever, I can only predict, but short of my rampant tomfoolery and predictions all over the place, we'll get in the experts, and we're joined now by our very own technical analyst from New York, Joe Saz. Joe, pleasure to have you on here, and I'll introduce him as well before I get back to you in a moment. Joe, Yona Hochhauser also joins us in studio here to help break down some of the reactions, but we'll kick off here with Joe first and foremost. Joe, we've hit 10,000, we've shot through 10,000. Is it to the moon from here?
That's the thing. It looks like we're hitting a little bit of overhead resistance, but buyers are still throwing everything they have at this. If you can notice on the small time scales, we've been really grinding up through these areas. It's been actually quite organic, a word I love to use in this space, a word I feel I get to use so rarely. But you know, we've been grinding through this nicely, and yeah, we didn't just break 10K. We got all the way toward 10.2, pretty close to it, and this creates a little bit of distance. You know, gives bulls a little bit of time to stack the books. As you can see, we've lost a little bit of this 2.5% support. The 5 is holding strong, so you know, without 2 and 1% aggregations from price, it's starting to get a little hazy, but you know, I'm not pulling my long just yet. I really want to be convinced that bears are ready to cap this out.
But so I got to wonder with you, Joe. I mean, there was a lot of analysis that came around when Bitcoin seemed to stick at that 9,700 support. Resistance rather, that was going to lead to a bit of a pullback, at least in the short term. Now we've cracked through 10. Does that danger disappear, or is there still the concern that as we've hit this resistance that you spoke about just now, that there will be a pullback, at least in the short term?
Yeah, there's an ever-present pullback fear. I must admit, I've been having trouble sleeping. It's been a rough ride, but you know, just running back through this chart again, I'm looking at liquidations, just small pushes to higher highs, right? Very small pushes is all it's been taking to liquidate these possibly very long-term conservative short positions. And I'm looking at 3+ million in the past 30 minutes each candle. So we're talking 6 million in the past 30 minutes, 12 million on the move that took us to 10,145. You know, it's been wild. So, you know, I often think about who has the most to lose from a move, right? And we've had a number of these shakeouts that have even taken out in as little as a 5-minute candle, $18 million in highly leveraged long. It seems that we've kind of cooled those longs off, with the last shakeout really only taking out something like 1.25 mil. So it's almost like the degenerate gamblers that I've been so pissed off about, they've really taken a step back. And I think that meant that the next big move was clearly going to be the trend, which is bullish. So now we're pushing into the short territory. And like I said, most likely this is mostly conservative short positions that we're talking about. And this should really be scaring a lot of people that are bears right now.
Okay, certainly a lot to look out for there in the technical picture. But let's turn now, because we do know that it's not just the technical charts that fully push Bitcoin. As it comes down to it, there is a strong social element in this crypto world. So let's turn ourselves over to Yona Hochhauser here with some of the reactions from across the crypto Twitter and crypto social space. What have you got for us, Yona?
Right, Asher. So like you said, it isn't only technicals when you're dealing with Bitcoin. There's a lot of emotion involved. That 10K is definitely a psychological line for a lot of people. And of course, crypto Twitter had immediate reactions. The first one we have is from the Pomp, Anthony Pompliano. He said Bitcoin just hit 10K. I still think that Bitcoin will hit 100K by the end of December 2021. Now, Joe, I believe you had a call, a more aggressive call by the end of 2020. What was your call?
Yeah, my more aggressive prediction would be above 300K. I don't think that we're going to break 100K and sit in that territory. I think this year has already proven to be extremely bullish, and by the end of this year, I can easily see a 6-figure Bitcoin. But you know, I do want to take it a step at a time. My aggressive call by end of year 2021 is 300K plus.
Wow, okay, keeping it strong there, Joe, but what else have you got for us?
Right, so right commenting on the Palms tweet was Nathaniel Whitmore, who also highlighted the fact that 10K is a major psychological the power of the moment. Very big. Everyone's excited. And then, of course, you have your memes. You have your excited videos. There are a couple that we could show you. Pulling the first one up, of course, is everyone's dancing. Everyone's happy. He's keeping it cool. And then he goes wild. See, I think everyone has that reaction. You see 10K, delayed. Holy shit, we're at 10K. Let's have a good time. Next up, deal, there we go. We got the monkey. Now that is everyone's friends when they hear Bitcoin hit 10K, FOMO, calling, let me buy some Bitcoin. And then lastly, we have the deal or no deal revealing. The last one, deal or no deal revealing in the briefcase. What's in the briefcase? Well, that's Bitcoin at 10K, baby.
Well, certainly exciting times out there to be sure. But Joe, we'd be remiss if we were to just talk about Bitcoin at this stage, because it's not only Bitcoin that's been having such a wonderful time. While that $10,000 barrier might be a great psychological mark, some of the alts out there have been seeing some pretty spectacular runs. Joe, what out there draws your attention?
Let's take a quick look at XRP. Wow, this thing really has taken off with it. Not violently, but we are making some serious treads up. Yeah, this is one of the ones. I think there's probably going to be about 50 alts that ride the tide of this bull market. It seems like XRP USD is one of them. Clearly, blew through a 9 sell here. I mean, this thing still looks like it has a lot of room to go up. I think this is just going to be one of those markets, and I don't think this kind of action is going to end just yet. One to note, though, I've really wanted to take a look at was Ethereum. You've been hearing anything about Ethereum lately?
Yeah, certainly. There's been a lot of interesting growth and development in Ethereum. It seems to be making a comeback, at least on the price charts, Joe. So certainly, what can you tell us, taking a look at the more technical picture?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and I can't help but be extremely bullish. Look at the convergence of all these moving average crossovers. Days away from the 5125, possibly two weeks, 10 days or so away from a crossover of the 5200. And then a bit later, a crossover of the long-term and the intermediate, 125 and 200. So it's looking just clearly bullish to me. It's like, this is the bull market we've been waiting for so long. We did have that little spike in April. I don't really like to talk about it, but this is clearly looking extremely bullish, extremely organic. This FOMO is real, and I think this should be alt season prep. This is kind of the beginning stage of it. I think it is starting to get wild. I'm happy to see that the wider market is responding to this, and hopefully this will kick off the FOMO that's going to bring all those millions and millions of people that have been sitting out because they might have bought the all-time high or something like that.
Certainly, we can hopefully see a lot of fresh blood in the market, fresh money joining the fray. It'll be interesting to see how that does play out. Joe Saz, I want to thank you so much for joining us, helping to break down that picture. Yona Hochhauser joining me here in studio. Thank you so much. For those at home, keep watching at blocktv.com for all the latest news and information. I'm Asher Westrop Evans. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.